Zur zweiten Partie dieser ersten Session der German Darts Championship 2016 hier in Hildesheim. Und wir bekommen Besuch aus Nordirland. Er ist die aktuelle 3 der Nordiren hinter Brendan Dolan und Daryl Gurney. Zurzeit wird er auf Weltranglistenplatz Nummer 64 geführt, hat sich in den letzten Jahren immer regelmäßig für die European Tour qualifizieren können. Und er kommt wirklich gerne nach Deutschland und selbstverständlich auch hier nach Hildesheim. Herzlich willkommen, Mickey Mansell. Mickey Mansell tritt gegen einen Mann an, der hier vor 2 Jahren im Finale stand. Damals verlor er dieses Finale denkbar knapp mit 5:6 gegen Gary Anderson. Er ist in der Weltrangliste ein bisschen abgerutscht, ein ehemaliger Top-10-Spieler. Aktuell steht er auf Weltranglistenplatz Nummer 27 und hat es eben schon gesagt. Viele hier in Hildesheim haben sich gerade auf ihn gefreut. Vor allem hier an Turniertag Nummer 1. Herzlich willkommen, The Force, Justin Pipe.
Second match of the day here in Hildesheim, and a very amorous Justin Pipe takes his place on the stage. A man who reached the final here 2 years ago and a quarter-finalist last year as well. The 2012 Austrian Darts Open champion returns to the European Tour stage. He's only qualified for one of the last 4 events. That was at the European Darts Trophy in Mulheim last September, or last month I should say, where he was beaten in the second round by James Wade. But he's up against a man who's making his first appearance on the European Tour this year. We haven't seen too much of Mickey Mansell lately. Paul Nicholson alongside me for this one. Good afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon, Rob. And yes, we haven't seen much of the Cyclone Mickey Mansell this year. He decided to do a lot of cycling instead and took a bit of time off. I know he had a little bit of a niggly injury as well, but he's back. So here we are in Hildesheim, and we've got a Cyclone versus the Force, and we're about to find out who was the strongest.
Yeah, something's got to give here. These two players coming through qualifying. Justin Pipe beating Jason Marriott and Matthew Dennant, losing 5 legs in total. As for Mansell, he had to come through 3 rounds of qualifying, beating Darren Brown, Richie Edhouse and Curtis Hammond in his final round of qualifying. UK qualifiers took place at the start of August, so it's been a long wait for some of these players. It was a double header of qualification for the European Darts Grand Prix, which we had in Sindelfingen last month, and for this event as well. But we're just about all set here. Pipe, the more fancied of the two, given his pedigree, his European Tour pedigree in particular as well. A man who is just inside the top 32.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg is just into through first. Game on.
In the European Order of Merit. So he'll be looking for a decent showing this weekend. You suspect that a run to the last 16, the 3rd round on Sunday, would be perhaps just about enough to guarantee him a place in Hasselt at the end of the month.
Yeah, I think if he gets to Sunday, he can pretty much book his ticket to Hasselt in Belgium for the European Championships.
57.
But Mickey Mansell has been spoiling a lot of people's form over the last few weeks. He actually fell short of being in the Grand Prix himself at the cost of his fellow countryman from the south, Mick McGowan, just by 1 game. And, you know, Mickey Mansell at the start of the year didn't play a lot of darts. And even though he didn't do that, he still nearly got in the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that at this point in time, someone like Mickey Mansell, who's a very, very fit bloke. If you follow him on Twitter, you'll see that he posts the kind of activity that he does at home. He does a lot of cycling, you know, cycles up to 6 hours every session. It's got to help you in the game of darts. I'll tell you what, the way he's throwing these right now,
140.
He's going to be useful, but this is going to be a very deliberate contest, Rob. We're not talking about Van Gerwen versus Klassen here, or Van der Voort versus Meerwiese. This is going to be very deliberate, and it's going to be drawn out and very thought about.
Yes.
58.
Setting the tone very nicely there, Paul. I think that's exactly what we've got in store here.
Well, interestingly enough as well, we talked about the fitness exploits of Mickey Mansell. Well, Justin Pipe, I know.
No slouch.
Oh, no slouch at all. Used to like a bit of
81.
mixed martial arts training. These days, Justin has told me that he's back on the road, he's running again. Feels like his knees and his hips are healthy enough for him to start doing that again.
Healthy enough also for the post-match celebratory
100.
breakdance as well, should he require one.
Well, the older you get, the harder they get.
I'm sure they do, but he's got work to do here, though. First, he won't be underestimating Mickey Mansell, despite the fact that Mansell has, like I say, not been involved in the European Tour at all this year so far.
140.
So I was going to say no opportunity at all for Mansell to make it to Europe, unless he makes it all the way to the final here, which is a tall order, shall we say, for a qualifier.
We've seen funnier things in the game.
We have.
I think Steve
45.
West has done what we
Mickey
like to call a Steve Farmer.
112.
Steve Farmer came from nowhere a few years ago to nick a spot in the Grand Prix at the expense of a couple of good players, one of them being Mark Webster. And it's more likely for that to happen now than any other time
52.
in history, because there's just so
Justin
much talent out there.
147.
Well, this would be a perfect visit in snooker. And that treble 18 would have set up double 18. As it stands, Mickey Mansell's going to come back for 60.
Mickey
And we
requires
know exactly
60.
where he's going to go for this.
Opportunity to break then for Mansell. You can see some Irish supporters in the crowd just behind Mansell's right shoulder. Topsy wants though,
Game
and
shot on
Topsy
the
gets.
first leg. Mickey Mansell.
Mansell breaks
Second leg is Mickey to throw first. Game on.
in the opening leg. Talking about Mansell making the final, he has made the quarter-final of a European Tour event. That was in Holland in 2014. He beat Kim Huybrechts, among others, in that particular run, before losing to Brendan Dolan, his fellow Ulsterman.
95.
I like what I see with Mansell at the moment. He hasn't been on the circuit a lot over the course of the last 12 months. And when you haven't seen someone for a while and they come back, you just get the feeling when you look at them, right, okay, where is their game at?
125.
I think he's always been a good player. But if he ever had one weakness, it was as if when he's thrown, there was a bit of movement in the upper body. There's a lot less now. There really is. Very steady indeed. He's had a slight change of equipment as well. New darts from his manufacturer.
140.
Longer stems now. Has kept the kite-shaped flights. I like the way they're going in.
I was going to say as well, a lot of that stability in the upper half must be partially down to the core strengthening from cycling. Has to be.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Bradley Wiggins on a bike or Mark Cavendish, especially the road racers doing time trials, one of the reasons why they are quicker than everybody else is because there's less movement on the bike. It's all going forward. There's nothing side to side. And this is about as solid as I've seen Mickey Mansell on the hockey as long as I've known him. And I've known Mickey about 7-8 years.
Yeah, the
99.
aerodynamic, the new aerodynamic Mickey Mansell. In good shape here to hold his throw with pipe on 2.76. Mansell down to a finish of 1.67. It's a big finish, but well, it really would get the crowd going here in this second match of the day. The winner of this faces Simon Whitlock. We talked about him earlier today. His success in Dublin in Players' Championship 18, beating Michael van Gerwen en route. Whitlock coming into this one in great form and high on confidence as well. Mansell will not be checking out 1.67, but he'll look to get down to a more manageable target
97.
here. And he's trimmed that nicely.
Justin, you require 140.
Well, so far, Mickey Mansell is causing problems for Justin Pipe. Pipe in the last leg, leaving himself 1.47 to take the leg when Mansell was on 60. Same situation here. Pipe on a big 3-darter.
We can see Pipe there
60.
mouthing the words
Mickey
"come on"
requires
after
70.
that first dart. It was very low.
This is the way you beat Justin Pipe. You don't let him get a lead. You don't let him stretch his legs.
That's in the 6. That's just straight outside, so 64 remaining. Double 11.
59.
Inside the wire.
Justin,
For
you
a lefty,
require
double 11
80.
is shell and peas usually, and that's why there was the grimace He obviously likes double 11. We're about to find out if Pipey likes tops today. Just over the top of that, a little bit of force from the force. There it is.
Shot on the second leg.
And we've got a game on.
Just in pipe. Third leg is just in the through first. Game on.
Yeah, you mentioned Simon Whitlock getting that victory in Dublin. There'd been signs over the last 2 or 3 months that things were going in the right direction for him. I know that when he was in Australia for the World Series in August, he was disappointed with his form, but he came back. He was in the European events
100.
in Germany over the course of September.
Yeah, and in those 3 events, I thought he looked. I
There
mean,
were
things didn't
signs.
go his way in certain instances, but yeah, there were certainly signs of good things to come.
Yeah.
And
And I
things
like
to come here as well from Mansell, by the way. Let's just break off momentarily.
140.
Yeah, go back to a game with Benito van der Pas where, you know, 1 or 2 missed darts, a double in that match really cost him, but the way that he handled the defeat and then just moved on to the next one is why he's seeded this weekend still.
You saw there a really good illustration. It was just the way he set that up with those first 2, and it just almost acted like a sliding on top of a tray almost. It was a great camera angle to watch that from.
Yeah, silky smooth darts from Justin,
60.
but a very steely look in his eyes when he hit that 180. No celebration. We can look at that. Staring down that 60. I wouldn't want to be that 60 right now. I'll tell you what, Rob, that second dart was a peach. First dart blocks it. He's got a very long point, though, and quite a long dart, as it happens.
And
But
it lands on an upward trajectory as well,
it
doesn't it?
does. So to be able to get it underneath that is very, very difficult. He may have had some room to the left to do that.
121.
But I tell you what, try it with those darts. Very, very difficult. There's not many people out there with darts like Justin Pipes. They are definitely one of a kind.
89.
There was no need to go for the bullseye there with Mansell on 218.
No, he was always focused on that 18 as soon as the opportunity presented itself, with Mansell still stranded here.
94.
Okay, he's down
Justin, you
to
require
a finish of
32.
1-2-4 here, but Pipe has 3 darts at double 16 for a 2-1 lead, having trailed 1-0. That's some way off. And that's bang on the money.
Justin Pipe.
And having trailed 1-0, Pipe leads 2-1.
Game on.
And there's just a bit of swagger about Justin Pipe now.
A little bit of swagger as well. I was watching a program on TV here in Germany last night as I was doing my ironing, as you do, getting ready for the weekend.
Very
And
smart you look as well, Paul.
thank you very
might
much.
I say.
60.
Yeah, I'm dressed for radio.
If we can get a camera on Paul.
But we're talking about Jordan Spieth, the golfer, and how he talks to his golf ball a lot in the air and it annoys people. Well, Justin Pipe likes to talk to his darts, and he talked to it to hit that double 16 before. However, no talking there. 180 scored.
Well, he let his darts do the talking there.
So I challenge a dart player to talk to his dart in the air. He won't have much time.
Well, Ricky Evans would be lost for words, literally, because he wouldn't have time.
There's not much time to do anything when Ricky Evans is thrown. Unfortunately, Ricky not here this weekend.
57.
But we will see his conqueror. And as I flick through my notes, it is Ted Evans who eliminated Ricky Evans in qualifying.
Youngster from Warwickshire.
Yeah, plays Chris Dobie later on.
Combined age of
60.
what, 44 or something like that, those two?
Combined age of not enough.
Yeah, babies in arms on the European tour. Pipe here. Closing in. Or looking to set up another opportunity here for a 3-1 lead.
131.
Do you get the feeling, Rob, that Justin knows his predicament right now? He knows he's in the fight to get to Hasselt in Belgium for the European Championships. He knows he's got to be focused, and he's against a really tough opponent here. He's going to have to focus all the way to the end because Mickey Mansell's not going to let him go.
He will certainly not.
He would dearly love a 97 here
Well, he
to
won't,
leave 36, but it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen now, and Mansell's on a Shanghai finish for
41.
2-2.
Mickey require 120.
Albeit on his throw, so not too damaging for Pipe here if he doesn't win this leg, but it might present the opportunity if Mansell doesn't take this out, and he won't.
And now he's got choices.
43.
Well, he took out double 16 last time,
Just
so
require
you suspect
92.
he'll go that way here again.
Yeah, he's going to go for the 60. Might stay there, you know. Just rested on top. Well, maybe not. That would have left double 18 if it hit the treble 12.
52.
So now he's got to rely on
Mickey
Mansell
require
missing again.
77.
It's going to be treble 19. Has to be. 18 for tops. To leave a double that he's already hit in the match. Only needed one last time. Only needs one this time.
Flag.
And
Mickey
Mansell's out to spoil the party.
Fifth leg is just in the drill first. Game on.
Yeah, needed that. You feel if Pipe had taken that fourth leg, it could well have been the start of the procession, if you like, to the finish line for Justin Pipe, because he was just building something there, but Mansell has just stopped him in his tracks here. And we're level at 2 apiece
100.
once again. Just going back to the European qualification issue, Pipe at the moment, or going into this weekend, was 31st in the standings on £7,500 on the European Order of Merit, level with Adrian Lewis, who can't qualify, and also Christo Reyes, who's here this weekend as well. In
100.
turn, Pipe is 500 behind Christobi, but 500 ahead of the likes of Steve West. So he's got bits going on above him, bits going on below him, but I think third round will do him just about enough here.
Yeah, he's right in the middle of it, isn't he? He's like the
26.
he's like the custard and the trifle. And you were talking about Hildesheim facts in the previous game.
Go on.
I was on my smartphone just digging up some facts about Diane Kruger. Very nice looking lady. Actress.
83.
Been in National Treasure. Troy with Brad Pitt. And Inglorious, which is obviously a movie by Quentin Tarantino. So, famous Germans. They do
From
all
Hildesheim.
sorts of things, yeah.
100.
One of my favourite facts of the year had to be Vienna. We were talking about Erwin Schrödinger and Schrödinger's cat from Big Bang
Yeah.
Theory. That was my personal favourite.
I know a joke about that, but I won't say it on air.
100.
Yeah, you mentioned Justin Pipe came through Jason Marriott in qualification and Matt Dennett, so taking out some of the younger guns on the circuit.
I can't believe we managed to crowbar Schrodinger's cat into commentary.
I'm sure we can do better than that.
105.
I'm sure we can.
Well, later on we got West versus West. And as West times West equal East in algebra, well, we'll find out who prevails in that one later. That'll be a corker, considering how well Steve West's playing at the moment.
Yeah, and a
94.
terrific time of it in the
Just
recent
in your
Players'
pile,
Championship event, and of course in the
170.
World Grand Prix as well against Phil Taylor.
Pipe is on a 170, and he's going to have to go for this, you know. Another one of those. Oh, that'll look good in the air.
98.
That's not the end of the world.
Mickey require 124.
I'll tell you what, though. About 3 minutes ago, it was so different, this match. This 1-2-4 could change everything. Treble 18 will leave a bull.
Just above the wire.
Just goes to show, not all players in the modern game
56.
are rat-a-tat-tat.
Justin require 72.
Bingo bango. It's very deliberate, this game.
Yeah,
and
it's a very measured approach by both players. Pipe here on 72. Okay, down to double 16, then he's taken it out once already today. Can he take it out here for a 3-2 lead? No, he
40.
can't. That was some way
Mickey require 68.
west of the double 16 bed as well.
Wonder how many times we're going to say West today.
That's, apart from the match itself, that's the last time for me. That's my challenge. So, Mansell here for a 3-2 lead.
48. Justin
he'll have
require
fancied that.
32.
He's been good on tops in this match so far, Mansell. Pipe though for 3-2. And if
Again.
he's been missing it way low. That's a much better guide though.
Game shot on the fifth leg. Justin Pipe.
Gradually
Six-legged Mickey
moving in the right
first.
direction there.
Game
Just
on.
about. That first start was very well. It was almost a carbon copy of the double 16 attempts he had when he won the when he got the first leg on the board in the second leg of the match.
Mansell trying to reply.
140.
But Pipe not talking to his dart when he hit that double 16. He was just trying to coerce it and tell it what to do with some hand motions.
I have to say as well, very healthy attendance for a Friday session here, Friday afternoon
55.
session here in Hildesheim as well. You can see the crowd over the players there in Halle 39, as we mentioned earlier. Very compact arena. It generates a lot of atmosphere when it's full.
100.
There is seating around the back and the sides as well, and the floor seating stretches a long way back as well. But the acoustics here, I remember from last year, certainly lend itself to a terrific atmosphere, especially over the weekend. Pipe here lending himself a big hand with a ton 80.
Yeah, this is one of the arenas that really bellows when you got a lot of people in here. We've been here at different times of the season. Been here in February, been here in September. This time it's October. When it's hot in here, it gets really hot. When it's cold outside, it is Baltic around here. It's really very cold.
Well, it's effectively a converted aircraft hangar. And as you can hear now, bang on cue, the crowd are
39.
just illustrating how loud they can get, how the acoustics can get going here. Mansell then, 1-2-1 to get back level once again. And going the right way about it as well. Mickey Mansell, double 8 to level things up.
113.
Well, he will be back.
He will be back. There's Pipe on 227. Can't finish that in 3 darts in steel tip. I know Justin has actually tried a lot of soft tip darts, played in La Rochelle on the World Tour.
99. Mickey, you require 8.
And Mansell now for 3-3, double 4. To cap off a very, very good leg.
Game shot on the
what a lovely
6 leg.
dart.
Very nice.
Mickey Mansell. 7-legged Sicily to throw first. Game on.
I'm a big fan of Mickey Mansell's shirt for personal reasons. Black, green, white.
Good combination
Absolutely.
of colours.
Yeah. And Mickey Mansell is about as Northern Irish as it gets. And I like Mickey a lot. I really do. Everything he says is, so it is. And there's nothing wrong with that.
140.
I think it's a good advert for the game. It's friendly. It's nice to people. A great player.
Yeah.
He's fit. He's hungry. And he's not afraid to take a break when he feels like he needs
43.
one. And I think sometimes that reflects just how personable someone is and in touch with what they want to do.
Yeah, I had his, well, had the pleasure of Mickey's company over breakfast one day at the European Darts Grand Prix last year in Sindelfingen, and that was the last
100.
European Tour event he qualified for, actually, prior to this one. He reached the last 32 there, beat Robbie Green 6-1 before a defeat by Ian White in the second round.
I remember playing in Sindelfingen a few years ago.
135.
The year before I got to the final there, he gave me a right tonking. He played really well against Mervyn King in the first round, then he absolutely battered me. Right. He deserved to beat me that day. He played really well. Well, Pipe seems to be saving his best darts for his throw. Now, we said it was going to be a deliberate contest. This just seems to be swaying in and out.
Justin Pipe seems to be throwing good darts when he needs to.
43.
He's playing
Justin,
in,
you require
fits and starts here.
81.
It's amazing what that does for your confidence as well, because if you need that leg right now and you seem to produce it in those moments, it just makes your head go a little bit bigger and say, you know what, I can do this.
Double 18.
63.
Yeah, he went off course with that treble 3 with the first dart, but it was a good switch, a good recovery. And he's, well, certainly in pole position here to go 4-3 apiece. At times he's playing so well, you think, well, how is he only level at 3 apiece here?
Was there no pun there, Rob?
140.
Pole position.
Justin, you require 18.
Mansell. Sticky situation though, 18.
It never crossed my mind. Anyway, double eights.
Game shot on the seventh
problem.
flag. Just in pipe.
And there's the
Eight
stare
flags
again.
making it through first. Game on.
As if
Yeah.
to say, I'm not going to let this go. I hope for everybody's sake that Justin Pipe wins this match, because if he doesn't, the way he's focused today, you just get the feeling that something's going to fall over.
60.
There's a silent hush in the crowd. This is a good game so far.
Well, Pipe averaging around about 90 or so at the
85.
moment. He's certainly capable of better than that, but so far it's just about good enough. He had a really healthy average in his opening round win against Jamie Lewis in Van Rij, I remember, earlier this year.
One under the net.
As Mansell enhances his average, just shading the averages. Pipe averaged about 98 in that first round match against Jamie Lewis. Won it 6-5, even though Lewis averaged over 103 as well. It was a strange encounter.
121.
And even when Pipe is scoring well, as he is today, he can still struggle. His finishing's been fine. I mean, it's just that, as we say, he's been playing well when he's had to play well. There have been spells where Mansell's been able to get himself in
60.
contention here.
Yeah.
It's a strange match to weigh up, this one so far.
Yeah, it's very, very unusual. I mean, Justin is almost like a frog in a sock, because he just seems to be a little bit, well, behind Mickey Mansell. He seems to be walking around a bit, and he's talking to himself.
57.
I mean, these are two guys who really do invest in sports psychology. They read books, they listen to things on the internet, they have spoken to sports psychologists in the past. And two fit guys who understand what it takes to get the most out of themselves.
139.
And at the moment, Pipe is really squeezing that orange to get all the juice out.
Certainly is. Looks as though this one will be levelled up once again at 4 apiece. Unless Pipe can apply some pressure here.
140. Mickey requires 62.
I hate to tell you, Justin, if they had shorter points, that was in. But you're the boss. Might get a poke at this. If Mickey Mansell misses this 62, is he going to go 12? Yes, he is, because he likes tops. Tops it is for 4-4. 4-4 it is. And the first sign of real aggression from both players. We're getting to the nitty-gritty now, Rob Malarkey.
We certainly are. Mansell's really fighting very hard here. And again, like Pipe, he's coming up with the goods when he's asked all the questions. Let's not forget, Pipe is a player who's in really good form at the moment, or at least had been prior to this weekend. He, of the 5 Players' Championship events that we had in Barnsley and Dublin in late September and first day of October, he reached 3 quarter-finals out of 5 events, including 2 out of 2 in Ireland as well. Beat Peter Wright in Dublin in the first day there. But Mansell is more than holding his own here.
Mansell did all right himself in Dublin on one of the days. But when you talk about the results that Pipe's had recently, no one's talking about that.
No.
Because we are transfixed by the resurgence of Whitlock, the brilliance of Van Gerwen.
123.
And then performances and consistency like that tend to go unnoticed. There's no denying that Justin Pipe is playing pretty well at the moment.
100.
Well, green spectacles, you suspect he's a Mansell fan. There's a fair bit of Irish-looking support in the crowd here today, actually. Some green hats in the audience as well.
We'll have to check to see what the
92.
local football team colours are. But you can't mistake the guys in the Irish hats, just in the background there.
There they are.
That's definitely an Irish hat. It's looking like 5-4 Pipe if he can keep it together.
60.
As Mansell can't find a
Justin
60.
146.
And sometimes you can go to treble 19s here for double 16. But the conventional way is treble 18. Now, his choice now is either treble 12 to leave double 16 or treble 20 for double 4, which he leaves.
138.
Yeah, 18 would have left 16s as well, but he's down to double 4 here. Mansell has loads to do. And once again, Pipe in control on his throw. He's never really been threatened a great deal on his own throw either.
60. Justin, you require 8.
He just wants to make sure that he doesn't mess around, and he
Shot on the
doesn't.
9th leg. Justin Pipe.
I wouldn't want to be
10
these
seconds,
segments that
Mickey
he's
to throw
going for.
first.
That stare
Game
has
on.
been absolutely primal. And Mansell has reached the point where, okay, 2 legs to go. 2 legs to win, and I'm through. It's pretty simple in theory. But when you're playing against Pipe, who's played well on his throw,
140.
you need shots like this.
And there we say, apart from legs, well, certainly leg 5 and maybe leg 4 to an extent as well, that's pretty healthy stuff from both players. And had the draw been more favourable to these two, I'm pretty sure both of them would have made their way through to the second
93.
round had they played in this manner. It's unfortunate, you could argue, that one of them will have to lose, because these are two very capable players who've been pitted together.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the statistics don't lie. I mean, we're talking about checker percentages, both 50% and above, which is world class. Averages around the 93 mark, which, again, very, very healthy. But I think the first 9 statistic for Justin, around 105,
40.
as opposed to Mickey's, which is about 10 less than that, that's been the telling difference in this match. There have been just a few more opportunities for Justin, and he has taken them. He's put himself in position, but yet again, he's not producing his best stuff on Mickey's
60.
throw, but Mickey lets him off there.
Yeah. 6-1-8 is in this match as well.
Sneaky good, I think, is the way you'd categorise this match.
Absolutely, yeah. Sneaky good. Pipe just having a quick look to see where he is and perhaps to see where Mansell is as well.
That's clever from
98.
Pipe. Really clever. Leaves that 270, so now he can keep straight. If he gets an opportunity, he may have to take out 270 in 6 darts. And we know, after the last few weeks, that that is definitely possible, especially after Whitlock at the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Took out 330 in 6. And then he took out the next leg in 10. Got to go bullseye. Yeah, leaves the 170 just in case.
71.
Mansell will be looking at possibly treble 17 here. He's more of a tops and 10s kind of guy.
He's looking at treble 17 for double 10, but it's not to be. So 54 remaining for tops then for a 5-all scoreline.
31.
Well, will he be back?
Well,
That's
Justin,
You
you
require
left it.
170.
You left the 170. You were thinking about this 6 darts ago. Not to be, but I like the fact that he's mentally aware of where he stands. He's doing what he needs to do.
58. Mickey require 40.
I'll be disappointed with that particular visit as well, Pipe, but he's not really applied a great deal of pressure. Mansell has a bit more breathing space here. Getting closer, but he's still some way away here. That's more like
Shot
it.
on the 10th flag. Mickey Mansell.
And there's the salute once
11th
again.
and final leg. It's just in the
And
throw first.
as we fairly confidently
Come
predicted at the
on.
outset, this one has gone to an 11th and deciding leg. Pipe with the advantage of throwing first. He's been pretty solid on his throw throughout, and if he's solid once again here, you suspect it will be Pipe's match for the taking. Well, he's just deflected off that first dart into the 5-bed.
85.
Well, if we had a pound for the amount of times we said he should win from here, and they don't, we probably wouldn't need to visit Hildesheim and call this match. But we want to. We're glad we're here, because this game could go either way right now, especially when Mansell is finding that 60.
140.
He does like a 6-5 tussle just in Pipe, though. It's his fighting quality in him, I suppose.
There are players out there who just seem to have more 6-5s than any others.
Terry
Pipe's
Jenkins
one of
is
them.
one as well.
Correct.
Terry Jenkins loves a battle. Justin Pipe loves a 180, and that's exactly what he's got. Sluggish start in this leg for Pipe, but he's recovered well with a 180 there. But Mansell is not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. A ton 40 here for him, or perhaps even better, and he too will be in the frame.
81.
That gets rid of the 1. That's the way you should think about that. Yes, it was a dart that shouldn't really have hit the 1. You've got rid of it now. But Pipe is stepping on Mansell's throat. And this here has to be a 140, surely.
100.
Because he had the positioner to the south and to the left as well.
Just pulled it slightly and it sat on top of the first dart. Not the end of the world though, but Mansell really does need a 140 here. It could be curtains. Just snag it between the two, and there it is.
140.
Well, he's
Just
in touch.
136.
2 treble 20s, double eights for Justin Pipe. Not to be.
See where they lie there, I'd go 19s. Doing so, single 19 now leaves tops. Doesn't like the angle though. At the end of the day, if you leave double one, it's not the end of the world. Because if you hit the single 19, tops, because of the angle, he's covering a lot of that 19.
Yeah.
Go to the left, hit it to the side. And if you think hitting singles is easy when you're under this pressure, you're mistaken, everyone. Because that was a very, very good dart from Justin Pipe.
Yeah, he just double checked with Paul Hinks as well. Took his time. Wasn't going to be distracted.
And this is where you get nervous. You put yourself in position.
60.
You've got 3 darts in your hand. All you want to do is hit tops with 1 dart, shake hands, have a little chat with Elmar and get off stage. But it's just not that easy, folks. Tops it is for Pipe to go through. Got to go to the right. Can't see the left-hand side now. Now it's 2 10s. Will Mansell be back to the board? Yes, he will.
20.
Well.
You require 80.
Justin Pipe knows that he has gifted Mansell a big, big opportunity here. It's still not a done deal, this one, though. Pressure, huge pressure on the shoulders of Mickey Mansell in his first European Tour event of 2016. One more of those for tops. Tops it is then for a 6-5.
60.
And Pipe will return.
We've had it all. This game has been deliberate, but at the very end, we've had missed darts from both players. So both of them, no matter what happens, can say to themselves, I had a dart for the match and I missed one. But Pipe has another 3 at 10s. As Mansell shakes his head, Pipe goes through in a real ding-dong. It took a while, but we were gripped by 2 really deliberate players.
Yeah.
Great match.
Great stuff indeed. Very high quality encounter, and fitting there. Appropriate also that Justin Pipe acknowledges the performance of Mickey Mansell. It was a very, very creditable effort from the Ulsterman, but ultimately it's Justin Pipe, a finalist here 2 years ago, who goes through to the last 32 to face Simon Whitlock. Up next, we've got the Hungarian qualifier, Janos Vekscher against Darren Johnson.
6:5 Erfolg von Justin Pipe über Mickey Mansell. Wow. Wow.
I trust Emma.
Okay. Special place here for you, Hildesheim, huh? They people love you.
Listen, when I lost in the final against Gary Anderson, I think everybody knew I should have won. And not being disrespectful to Gary, my brother passed away just a few months before, and all I was thinking about, double 12, just win for my brother. And I'm going to win for you. Hopefully, I'll win for you guys this year. And we'll be crowd surfing again. Yes, come on. The question is, guys, Is Elmar going to run 12K with me in the morning?
Oh, I will. We want to do that tomorrow morning. That's good. Justin, Simon Whitlock is the next opponent. He's getting better and better in the last couple of weeks. He's playing really well. Yeah, a challenge.
I think me and Simon's roughly the same at the moment. I mean, we both had a couple of bad years, both for different reasons. Simon's really shown some great form at the moment, and so am I. So that was really nervous today. I had to beat Mickey today, hopefully to make it to the European Championships. I missed a Grand Prix by, I don't know, 500-600 pounds, and I was really cheesed off, and it was the biggest kick up the ass I've ever had. So Simon, me and Simon's going to have a great game tomorrow. I know that because we'll both be relaxed.
That's cool. Looking forward to that. Thank you very much. The Force, Justin Pipe. Der Mann hat so viel Zeit. Der Mann hat so... Oh! Genau das hat er vor 2 Jahren im Finale gemacht. Und er hat gerade noch mal gesagt, vor 2 Jahren, da war ein paar Wochen vor dem Turnier sein Bruder verstorben. Und diese Doppel-12, den Championship-Dart, den er hatte, das war irgendwie immer so ein Dart, bei dem er sich an seinen Bruder vor allem erinnerte. Und deshalb ein ganz besonderer Moment. Er ist froh, dass er durch ist. Er will natürlich noch zu den European Darts Championship kommen. Trifft also in der nächsten Runde auf Simon Whitlock. Und er genießt es, hier in der Halle 39 in Hildesheim mit dabei zu sein. Justin Pipe. Darren